This is a slightly different video. Normally, I'm on a yoga mat, but I have been dealing with crunchy, tight shoulders. And it comes a lot from sitting far more at a desk or my dining table, which is where I do most of my calls, my admin, website, mailing list stuff. And I find myself sitting here, hunching over, getting uncomfortable. So I've been incorporating a few things into my day as I sit at my table. And I think it's time I shared them with you. The beauty of these stretches and releases are that they can be incorporated into your formal practice if you'd like. They can work really well at the beginning of a practice when you're seated in some way, or maybe incorporated into some of your lunging or standing postures. So whether or not you're a practitioner with a self-practice that you want to add things into, or if you're a teacher looking for a few different things to incorporate, or if you're just here for the shoulders, this is for you. So we're going to start very, very purposefully, but quite simply, by getting both of our feet on the ground so that we can find a neutral spinal position. So not leaning back into any chair, not leaning forward over the table, but both feet on the ground, lower back quite supported and quite soft through the shoulders. Now the way that I do this is I place both of my hands on the table or on my desk, wherever you might be. And I'd like you to close your eyes and just start to drop your chin down towards your chest. And just take a few steady breaths. Gentle breath in. Gentle breath out. Keep breathing in a natural and steady way. And with the chin staying low, allow the left ear just to move towards the left shoulder. And you'll find that your head is almost on a bit of a diagonal. And at one point you will start, there it is, you'll start to feel the stretch down the side of the neck and into the top of the shoulder. If that feels quite strong already, if it feels quite intense, then you're just going to stay there. But if you'd like to add a little bit, you're going to take your right hand, your right arm, and just release it down by your side. And make sure it's not resting on the chair in any way. And already it gives a little more. Just a few more steady breaths. And if it becomes too intense, then either bring the arm back or just reduce the angle of the neck. If your arm is down by your side, start to gently bring it back onto the table. And then allow the chin slowly to come back towards the chest, especially when we're working with the neck and the shoulders. Slow movements are good movements. We'll take it to the other side. So just allow the right ear to come over to the right shoulder. Again, the chin stays low, so we can really target that beautiful top line of the shoulder. Again, after a few breaths, if you feel that the intensity that you desire just isn't there, then you can start to gently release the left arm off the table and just let it hang by your side. And you might find that the sensation shifts slightly. It might kind of go into the top of the anterior delt, the top of the shoulder, maybe even into the pec. And see if you can just breathe through the sensation. Remember, a slow breath helps tell the nervous system we're safe. and avoids any contraction. If your left arm is down, just start to slowly bring it back onto the table and allow your chin to come back towards your chest. Then you're going to direct the left ear back over towards the left shoulder, and then you're going to roll the back of the head back in space with the chin lifting up towards the sky. So we're starting to create circles. And again, slow movement is the only way to do this. So we start to notice, oh, okay, if we're going a little bit too quick, we can feel a little bit out of control, right? We can't get the same range of motion, but we also might not do it with the same stability, because our beautiful heads, full of all the information that they carry around for us, are really quite heavy. So we go slowly. Once you come back to center with the chin, let's take it in the other direction. So right ear towards right shoulder, and then you're going to direction the back of the head towards the scapula, the chin up. And then you're going to continue round, left ear towards left shoulder, and chin back to center. Again, let's go for one more. Make sure you're breathing the whole time. It doesn't have to be a forceful breath, but certainly a conscious breath. Next time the chin returns back to center, you're going to bring the hands together, interlace the fingers, and just bring the hands to the base of the skull. And then you start to curl round as you drop the chin towards the chest, and you can sink actually into the back of the chair if there's room for it, and allow the elbows to get really heavy. Let's start to neutralize the spine. So we start to lift up through the crown of the head, and as you do so, begin to separate the elbows. Keep the hands as they are at the base of the skull, the top of the neck, and just allow your elbows to kind of fall apart. And as you support the weight of the head, lift the chin. And my eyes are still very much closed. I hope you feel comfortable to do the same. If not, let the gaze be soft. Let's find a neutral spine again, so it might feel like you're drawing the lower ribs in, lengthening the crown of the head back towards the sky, and create a very small amount of traction on the back of the head, so it almost feels like you're lifting the back of your skull up. And you're just going to start to lean over to the left. The left elbow drops a little. Again, it's gentle movements. Right elbow maybe pointing up to the sky. So this is getting more into the side body, maybe the lats, serratus anterior, teres minor, running through your armpits, maybe into the tricep even. And then on your inhale, start to come back up. And we'll go to the other side, so the right elbow starts to drop down. You kind of lift and lengthen through the left elbow. Imagine the left elbow could touch the ceiling. As you support the weight of the head, and just kind of investigate the sensation moving through the left side body. It might be a bit different, especially if you're, well, you will be. You'll be one side dominant, so you might find the difference is quite obvious. And then we'll just start to come all the way back to center. So we're going to keep the hands, the fingers kind of interlaced, but we're going to bring the hands to the top of the head, the very crown of the head. And I'd like you to really let the weight of the hands rest on the crown of the head, elbows pointing to different directions. And we're going to start to circle the right shoulder, up, back and down, up, back and down, up, back and down. Try and make them quite smooth. And again, full range of motion. So I think on these kind of movements, it's always quality over quantity. Release that. Let's go on to the other side. Left shoulder up, back and down. I always find my left shoulder has a little bit more difficulty during this movement. Left side of the body probably needs a little bit of attention. Beautiful. Now release that, and we're going to do both of them together. Up, back and down. Up, back and down. Up, back and down. Oh, okay. Keep the hands together, but try and pull them apart. Imagine that you are creating this really strong opposing forces in opposite directions. Notice how your shoulders kind of go into depression, a little bit of retraction too, so the shoulder blades move down the back and then squeeze towards one another. That's okay, that's a good movement. That's what's supposed to happen. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction. So release the opposing forces. You're going to turn your palms up towards the sky. You're going to press your palms all the way up towards the ceiling. You're going to let your shoulders come all the way up towards your ears. And then you're going to move your biceps as far away from your ears as is comfortable. So you feel almost the arms moving back slightly. Keep breathing, and if you're anything like me, your lower ribs flare a lot, so see if you can draw them in slightly. Very gently, we're going to release the hands down either side of us. Keep the wrists in extension. Imagine you're saying stop with your hands as you slowly lower the arms down by your side, and then I want you to imagine that you have your hands on two stools either side of you, and you're going to press down into the stools with your hands. So again, really active depression of the shoulders, so they're moving away from the ears. You take one more full and steady breath in, and then release that activation as you exhale, and maybe give yourself a little bit of a wiggle through the spine. Okay, next one. This is some neural flossing, and it is, I find, wonderful for when things feel a little bit tight and crunchy. So we'll start with the right hand. The right arm is going to press away from you. Again, your wrist is in extension, so you're flexing your fingernails back towards your shoulder. And we're just going to drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. And then we're going to put the wrists in flexion, and we're going to move the right ear towards the right shoulder. So what happens in neural flossing is that we're not trying to stretch the nerves, we're trying to mobilize them. So we want our head and our hand, keep going, to move in the same direction. So if we were stretching them, they would be moving in opposite directions. It's okay if you feel there's a lot of information running through my arm right now, and into the shoulder too. So just do it a few times. You don't want to overuse the flossing. So my body is saying that's enough now. And I'm going to release and just allow that right shoulder to sit heavy for a moment. We'll go for the other side. So we'll bring the left arm out. Again, create a stop sign with your left hand and just drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then we'll do our flossing action. So as we move the left ear towards the left shoulder, we turn the fingers down towards the ground. And then back. Again, try to move slowly. And when you're using this, or if you use this, this can be a really nice thing to do at the beginning of class or the beginning of practice. When you're using this, do a few times to begin with, see how it feels. And if there's no difference, then add a couple more repetitions. So you work out the dosage, we call it, that is best for you. I've reached my dosage now. I know that that's enough. So I'm going to release. And just allow the left hand to rest on the thigh a moment, let both shoulders get heavy. Okay, final one. I'm going to bring the arms out in opposite directions. Make a fist with both hands and turn one fist down and one fist up. So I've turned my left fist down and my right fist up. My right fist is an external rotation and my left fist is an internal rotation. You're going to keep your head facing straight forward and then you're going to twist. You're going to rotate the arms in opposite directions. And it's the same as the other flossing exercise. You just do enough as feels good. If you start to fatigue, that's a good sign you've reached your sweet spot and you can start to release the arms. I'm going to go for 1 or 2 more. I know it can be nice if things feel good to do them a lot, but just be mindful that we can overdo things. Everything in moderation, I think they say. Okay. Now I'm going to let my hands rest back onto my shoulders, or maybe, yeah, onto the table, and I can close my eyes and just allow myself to sit with the resonance of it. I hope this served you in some way. And if you have any questions, of course, pop me a message and we can chat.